Let's start with your name.
Isabella Legacy.
Okay, Isabella, tell us a little about yourself.
I just turned 20 and I've been traveling full time since before I was 18, basically. I've done every state in less than a year. I'm on my 20th country this year.
Whoa.
Which I'm really proud of. That was a big life goal of mine. And I went to school for Reiki, so I do energy work, energy healing.
Right.
Yeah, I love life. I think I live life as much as I can. Anybody can.
I love your energy. Very positive.
Thank you.
And you said you're 20 years old. When is your birthday?
July 6th.
And your background and ethnicity?
I am French. I actually just got my DNA done, so I can tell you exactly what I am. 70% French and German, 29 Irish and British, and like 1% Portuguese.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you just recently find out you were French, or you always
I
knew?
did. I asked
Oh,
for
you
it
didn't
for
know?
Christmas.
Oh.
Yes. That was something I was very interested in.
And you said you're not single right now.
Yeah, I have a boyfriend, yes.
And tell us a little about how you guys met, because I thought it was a pretty interesting story what you just told me.
Yeah, so it is pretty interesting. It really made me believe in the string theory of how people are kind of like, do you know what that is?
No, that sounds familiar though.
It's how people are kind of around you in life, but they don't come into your life. You don't meet them until it's the right time.
Right.
So me and him both lived in the same really small town, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Right.
And we had actually met online, but we never met each other. And we lived in this town for a year, and we were at the same parties, like same concerts, same like little restaurants in this really small town. I mean, like, you know everybody in this town.
Right.
And then he moved out here for school, and then I was visiting here one time on like a whim. Like everything had kind of fallen apart in my life. I ended up here, kind of by accident, and we ended up meeting, and like that was it. It was like, how did we never meet before this?
Right.
So I feel like it was definitely just a timing thing, like this was the right time to me. I don't think it would have worked otherwise. So.
And how long have you been in a relationship with him?
A year. It will be a year next month, actually.
So you said that you met him in Hawaii.
Yes.
And you guys remain long distance.
Yeah, so I met him here. I was only here for about a month, and then I went on to travel. I traveled Europe, and he came to Europe to hang out with me, so we just kind of made it work however we could. I came out here to visit a few times within that, too.
How often do you see each other, let's say, for example?
Well, we live together now.
Now?
Yeah, so before that, maybe 1 week every 2-3 months.
You're not the type of person that needs to see your significant other that often?
No, I think especially knowing that you will be together one day, it doesn't feel so insecure in that way, I guess. I feel like if you never know that you'll live with them or be with them, it can feel very much like you need to more. But I feel like knowing just like, oh, we will live together at one point in this year, so I was okay with just being apart.
How do you navigate being loyal? Like, I feel like it would be so hard for me to, I'm like, am I even dating someone at this point?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of a prude, honestly. I've never been one to like go out of my way in that way or anything like that.
No.
Or even when I am single, I can't say I see a lot of people anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
You're telling me guys don't approach? There's no
They
way.
do. I'm not interested usually. I'm very happy with myself and my own life. So it takes
Right.
a lot for me to bring somebody else into it.
So I understand that you're loyal. It's just guys, based on your situation,
Yeah.
they would hear it and they would be like, oh, you know what? I could take advantage of the situation because she doesn't see him that often. I could swoop in because like men are opportunistic creatures.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
So you know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel you have a story there.
Oh, no. Yeah. I think men do see it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever had somebody trying to creep in?
Oh, of course. All the time.
And how do you navigate away from them?
I just say very politely, I appreciate it, whatever the compliment might be, and I move on.
I feel like being rejected by you wouldn't offend anyone. You just seem so sweet.
Thank you. I try not to, I don't think it has to be a whole big scenario or...
Question for you. How do you reject? Because I always, when I was growing up, when girls were rejecting me, it was extremely rude. I feel like there's a nice way to go about it where you don't offend someone. I feel like you can, you're perfect at it. So tell me how you do it.
Okay, we can do a scenario. Say something like, hey, I think you're really pretty. Can I get your phone number?
I thought you were really attractive. Do you mind if I get your phone number?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I actually have a boyfriend, but I do appreciate it.
Okay,
and I'd probably ask you something like, oh, are you around? Are you from here? Kind of, So it doesn't seem like I'm just ending it right there. Yeah.
The situations I've had, I wish they've gotten that smooth. I've had shit where I would come up to a girl, I'm like, hey, just when I started, I'm like, hey, what's your name? The girl would be like, I don't have to tell you that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, where do you go from that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a nice way to do it, but I understand women who are fed up. Not all men take rejection well. So
No, 100%. I think most men don't. Because from our point of view, we had to work hard to come up to you. It takes a lot of balls.
Yeah. Oh, I get that, and I appreciate that. So that's why I'm polite about it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Have you ever been interested in someone and pursued someone?
I have. Ooh. Some of the best men I ever dated were men who I pursued myself.
I want to hear that.
Okay, so one of them who I thought was my soulmate, 15, 16 at the time, I would always see him at the gym. We go every day. Right. Approached him one day, maybe like the second or third time I saw him. I was like, hi, like, I'm Isabella. Nice to meet you. And we're talking like da-da-da. He's like, oh, I have a girlfriend. I was like, okay, like, let me know if it doesn't work out.
You said that?
I did. I don't know how I said it. It was kind of open-ended because I didn't want to seem like I thought it wasn't going to, but I was like, if it ever doesn't work out, like, let me know.
Right.
And he ended up DMing me a few weeks later.
Later?
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'd love to take you out. And yeah, it was great. It was one of my favorite boyfriends I ever had.
How long did that last?
Not very long. It was kind of like a summer fling. He ended up turning Mormon. And
everyone keeps telling me about Mormons. It's it was culty, right, or something?
Yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, sad. I feel bad for him. He's on a mission trip now.
Like convert people?
Yeah, his his like parents found out he was smoking weed one time, and they like sent him to like this camp, and then he like gave up like his entire life to go do this, which is unfortunate in a lot of ways, but it ended on good terms, so I wish him the best.
Out of curiosity, what made you want to pursue him? Was it attraction purely?
He was very attractive. Yes, I thought he was very nice, so I feel like we both just kind of had this, like, every time we see each other, it's just like, oh, like, hey, it was very much this. I feel like we were polite to everybody in that way, and I appreciated that about both of us.
So you noticed a similar vibration.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I feel like you would not, I don't ever see you, but maybe I'm wrong, being with a toxic asshole.
No, I definitely try not to.
You seem too nice to humans.
I try. Yeah, thank you. I try, yeah.
Okay, so that was the one you were like super in love with?
I really loved him. I really liked him. He was great.
And there was no chance of fighting for him?
I just didn't feel like there needed to be a fight. I feel like if things are meant to be, they will be. Maybe in 10 years, you never know. Or like, I feel like I was very young at that time, and he was a bit older. So it's like, I wasn't
How old was he?
He was 2 years older than me, so I want to say he was 17 at the time.
Not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, maybe when we're done with college, like whatever.
Moving on, that's the only guy you actually loved?
Oh, I've loved many people in my life. Yeah.
Okay. Any ones that stand out?
My first love when I was in like 8th grade.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's loved him. I can't say any of them stand out more than other ones. I think I have loved them all in different ways, but I have loved them all in.
That's fair.
Some way, yeah.
None of them were ever bad breakups?
Not on my end, no.
Wow, you are very positive.
Thank you. And I think even if they took it bad on their end, they always came around.
Yeah.
And I can't say I'm not friends with any of my exes right now. So.
You're not?
I am. I'm friends with all of them.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
So I can't say I'm not. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about red flags in guys. What do you consider a red flag for you?
I think morals are a huge thing for me. I think just especially when I think of raising kids, and I think I take relationships very seriously, as right now I'm at a place where I do want to date to marry, otherwise I just rather be on my own in my own life. So I think morals are a huge thing in that way.
Guys, we found a good one. Finally.
Thank you. So yeah, I think morals, like how you treat people, like what you think people deserve and what they don't. I think that's a huge thing for me.
Okay, so you only date for marriage right now?
I do, yeah.
That's so cute. Okay. How old is the guy you're dating right now?
He is 23.
Still young. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
What are some other red flags? So that's a green flag you told me. So you have to have morals.
Yeah, we have to have the same morals, I would say. I think morals are hard to not align on. I feel like there's not much leeway in them, I guess.
100%, yeah. What do you think a moral is you have that lacking in most people? I feel like that's a good question to ask.
I think, especially just what I've studied in school and stuff, I really believe in Eastern cultures more in the way they think we are just here to exist as people. Western cultures, believe we're here for like a life of labor, and they're very into like capitalism.
Yeah.
So I think people deserve like food, shelter, whatever it may be. I don't think you have to work for that. Okay. I think that's just a basic human right.
I also think that. I think it's weird to charge people for land and rent.
Yeah, I think healthcare should be free. I think I'm very just left-leaning in that way politically too, but
I also read like in Canada, healthcare is free, but it's almost impossible to make an appointment.
That is true, but I guess it's fair that way. It's not just so wealthy that get taken care of.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like if we all have cancer, the rich, it's like the poor people aren't the only ones dying. 100%. I think that's fair. It should be that way.
100%, yeah. That's the only red flags you have?
I guess morals are my only thing I can really think of. I think how they treat other people, I think that's a huge thing. Yeah. I'm sure I have a bunch, but I don't say I go into things like looking for them or having them on top of my head by any means.
Have you ever used like dating apps?
I have.
Which ones?
I was on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, very briefly, only a couple months.
Okay. And your experience with all of them? Or something specific?
Yeah, you know, I met interesting people. I made neat connections. Not much more than that, I would say.
You never ended up like in a relationship with any of them?
No.
None?
Nope.
Why?
I would say I like some of them. I guess on a lot of those apps, especially Tinder, it's more the younger crowd.
Yeah.
And
what do you mean? You're young.
Yeah, it's more a hookup culture, I guess. And I wasn't interested in that
You're not into hookups at all?
Nope. So I guess I made a lot of good friends and met some neat people, you know, but nothing more than that.
And which one was I think I already know the answer, the cringiest app.
Tinder, yeah.
Why? What kind of stuff did you get, like messages?
Oh, I think I got banned after 2 months on there.
Why?
So, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I don't think I did anything wrong. I don't think it was on me, but I think most women are banned from Tinder. I think that's a very...
Did you put like your Instagram handle?
No, I don't...
That's usually why they ban girls.
Okay, is it? Maybe. I don't think I did, though. Yeah, I can't say I ever connected with anybody who I really thought was a great person off there.
Do you think dating apps are harder for men or for women?
I think they're harder in different ways. I think it's probably harder for men to really get on a date with a woman. 100%. And I feel like women just get so many dates. It's hard to kind of pick and choose a good one. So I think they're hard in opposite ways.
Yeah, but like for us, it's like we have nothing. You guys have everything. They say, I'm a very big advocate for guys should get off dating apps, period.
Okay.
Because I'm like, first of all, you'll never be able to build a connection just based on a picture.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I found someone attractive and then I spoke to them for 5 minutes. I'm like, I would never talk to you again.
Yeah.
So I don't think the market is there for men. Girls, you do what you need to do. That's fine. I get it, you guys. But also these guys like that go out there, you think you're the only person that's going out with them.
Yeah.
They've probably been on 8 or 9 dates because the 1% of men are getting swiped right. You know what I mean?
Okay, so how do you think they should meet people then?
I think men need to grow some balls and approach people.
Okay, so you think public?
Public. Okay. By the way, guys, I got her on this podcast. We didn't tell the camera how we met. So I approached her at Target and I went out on a ledge or a limb, whatever. And I approached her and I asked her to be on the podcast because I thought she was attractive. This is how guys need to approach women. Even if it makes you look bad, you have to approach girls. Tinder, it's not going to go anywhere. It just shows that I'm not a man enough to approach a girl in person. What would be a better love story for you? To tell people, oh, I met on a dating app, or this man approached me and made me fall in love with him?
Oh, absolutely, in public, yes. Yeah. I think it should be organic like that, of course,
100%. Look, I got you on this podcast.
Yes, he was very nice about it, too.
Yeah, I was. You were very nice about it.
Thank you.
You said the cutest thing, like, is it okay if I have a boyfriend? I'm like, that's so cute.
You know, it's about mutual respect, yes.
Have you ever been catfished, ever?
I don't believe so, no.
Ever?
No. I feel like that's much more of a story that men have than women, I will say. I think it's something men care about more than women do too, usually, so they probably pay more attention to it.
100%, yeah. I don't feel like this would apply to you, but maybe. Have you ever ghosted anyone?
I have not.
Oh my God, you're kidding me.
No, I am all about seeing things through, and I will say it's ended if I think it's ended.
Wow.
I think people deserve that. You know, I think if you take the time to go out with somebody and really establish a connection, they deserve to know when it's over.
Can you share a dating tip for guys?
Dating tip for men. Okay.
For men. So let's say a girl like you, attractive. How do we get someone like you to go out on a date with us? No dating app. Just
no dating apps.
How do we win your heart, let's say? I know it's kind of messed up because you're in a relationship, but...
That's a really good question, though, because I think I go for different types of men and different kind of approaches every time, so that's hard. I think it's really about the guy, though. I would say eye contact is a huge thing.
Right.
I think being nice, sincere. I think something unique, like a unique first date. I think that's really important.
But how do we even get you on the date? That's the thing. That's the tip.
Oh gosh, this is
if a guy, I feel like if a guy really likes a girl, he'll kill the first date. But in order for us to even get you on the first date, that's a struggle.
I think you really just have to ask, like, hey, I would love to take you on a date.
Okay, question for you. I saw this recently, and I have always said that this was my advice, but people always say you're an idiot. So men are very egotistical. I have a lot of friends where they're like, if you text a girl once and she doesn't reply, you got to leave it at that. And I already know the comments that are coming. They're going to shit on me, call me a beta male. So I'm okay with texting a girl again, saying like, hey, just following up, see if you were down to hang out again. I saw this recent viral TikTok, and it said, if you're interested in a girl, why would you stop after one, failed attempt? Most girls will push you back eventually, initially, and say, work for it. What do you think?
I think this is a tricky question, honestly. I think there's two very different sides to it. I am all for the going for what you want in life, and when it comes to women, the same thing, yes. I think there's also the maybe she was too scared to say no to you in the moment and just gave you her phone number to be kind and to not reject you in a hard way that she thought would turn on her too.
So you think don't pursue?
I think maybe just a follow up like, hey, like if you're not interested, I get it. Like if you don't text again, I'll take that as a no.
Right.
I think something like that, totally fine.
That's cute.
Yeah, I think just a kind of like, I'll take that as a no. To let her know that you know if she doesn't text back that you understand.
You are respectful. I have never, that never even crossed my mind.
Well, I'm glad it has now.
To say something like, hey, just, if you don't respond. I think that would be like very few things.
I think it's for both people because then she has power in her own way if she doesn't have to respond to you. And she knows that you'll take it as a no.
100%.
But then you know as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I've also been successful women that I did chase after being rejected twice.
Okay.
And I've heard some mixed signals where they're like, oh, it's because we don't say yes initially. So I'm like, yeah, but how would a guy know that? Some girls have what you just said. They just give out their number just to be nice and don't want to be rude. As opposed to other girls, they call them like the ABGs.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Asian baby girls. They have that everything plastic face.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. And they make you work hard.
Okay, yeah.
They're like, well, you don't care what you look like. You could be a 10 out of 10, but you got to work for it.
I'm all in for that. I think women who make men work hard, though, have to have some counter in that way, too.
Okay.
I think you can't hold people to standards that you don't hold yourself to.
100%. Have you ever been cheated on in the past?
I have.
Can we talk about it?
Yes.
Okay. What happened?
I guess it depends which time.
Holy cow.
I will say I always took it very well. I was never crazy. I never went off. Okay, I guess maybe like my junior year of high school, my boyfriend cheated on me. I saw him cheating on me. I didn't say anything about it. I kind of just went about my day and whatnot.
Wait, how'd you see him cheating?
He was like making out with this girl in the high school parking lot. And I was going to prom with him, sadly, which was the sad part. But I didn't say anything. I saw it. I took it in. I said, oh, well, I don't think that's supposed to be happening. And I just went about my day. I went into class. I went about my day. That was it. I asked him. I think it's fair to give people a chance to explain, or maybe it could.
You asked him, though.
I did, yeah. I mean, maybe it could have been somebody else. I think you have to give people a chance to come clean, I guess, I think that's fair, especially if you're in a relationship. Like you owe them, I think, at least that most of the time. I think he probably denied it, and I was just like, I saw you.
How did you ask, though? I want to know.
I think I just asked, I was just like, are you cheating on me? I think I've asked many men this question, actually. And I will say most of the time they have always lied, and they have never come clean until I've said, like, I saw you, I have proof, I have messages, I have whatnot, and then they admit. But if you are a man and you get asked this question, it's probably because she knows you're cheating. Yeah. So I would come clean the first time.
I 100% would come clean. Yeah. If I ever was caught cheating, I wouldn't even deny it. I'd be like,
absolutely. That was it. And it was just like, I think at one point he just admitted.
He just admitted?
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, like, I wish you the best. There was nothing else to be said. I went about my day, my life.
You're not like give him a second chance type of person?
No, not usually.
Why?
I think stuff like that, I think cheating clearly like that is one thing that's just kind of unexcusable.
So you do not accept it no matter what?
No.
So in your head, once a cheater, always a cheater?
Yeah, unless you have a damn good excuse, which they usually don't.
There is no such thing as a good excuse for cheating.
I've had a few men cheat on me, and that's that.
Let's talk about the other ones. Was that the one that hurt the most?
No, the one that hurt the most is probably my long-term boyfriend, almost 2 years. Loved him very much. One time I found a pair of underwear in his bed. And this was a whole thing. It was always a whole thing. He was older than me. He was in college. I was still in high school. I was around a lot. He was in a frat. And there would always be stuff in his room, like hair clips, like necklaces.
The fuck?
And he had a girl best friend. And when I say best friend, I mean best friend. Like they go on like overnight trips together. I don't think he ever cheated with her. I'm not, I was not intimidated by her in any way like this. But yeah, one day I found underwear in his bed and I asked him, he said, that's yours. I said, it's not my size. I said, it's not mine.
That's such a silly excuse. It's yours.
I know, isn't it? So you think a little harder than that, right?
And then?
I mean, that was it.
You just broke up with him?
Yeah, I think most of the time when I've been in these situations, there hasn't been a breakup. There was never like, we are breaking up. I feel like it was always just very clear that it was over.
And you guys just stopped talking?
That was kind of it. I packed my stuff. I left. There was no yelling. There was no, I'm sorry. There was no like,
whoa.
There was nothing. It was mature. It was, sometimes I look back and I watch my friends like go off on these men. I mean,
that's
like,
what I thought.
Give them what they deserve. And sometimes I'd be like, oh, like maybe I should have, but it's just not me. Wow. If they deserve it or not, it's not me.
Have you ever yelled?
No, I have never yelled in my life.
Bro, you kidding me?
No, yeah, I never have.
Why?
Don't know if I ever will.
Is this something just not naturally inclined to do?
Yeah, I don't get angry. Like, honestly, I get cut off in traffic. I have these, like, terrible things happen to me. I don't feel that emotion in my body. I really just don't.
Did you, like, read a book?
I did. This is, like, huge.
What's the book?
Yeah, I mean, this is, like, what they talk about in, like, every, like, yogi, like, Buddhist. Anger is, like, a sin. Like, it is, like, the worst emotion. It's like, once you have mastered your emotions, you just don't feel it. You just don't let it affect you. Thanks. It's just, like, you think about it, and, like, you read these things, or, like, you know, like, somebody cuts you off in traffic. That's, like, 5 seconds of your day. Are you going to let it ruin your whole day? Yeah. And it's just that. You never know. They might need it to get there. You know, they might be on the way to, like, the hospital. You never know, and it's never worth your time to know. Yeah. That's how I see it. It's just like, whoop. Like, whoops, okay. Like, I wish you the best. Get there in time.
100%. They did a study. I don't know what the study details is. I just simply heard an audiobook on it because I love audiobooks. Yeah. This guy said they measured a person's anger. Every person apparently has an aura.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I can see auras. Yeah, I trained in that. Yeah.
You can see my aura right now?
I could if I really looked, yeah.
Wow. Please look.
Okay.
It might take a minute.
Okay, you have green on this side and you have purple up here. And purple is usually very, like, creative, whatever that may be, like painters, artists, entrepreneurs. Green's usually very earthy, like you're good with money, you're balanced, you're stable. Very masculine color.
And then there's nothing.
The rest, you're very light over here. It feels very, like, yellowy to me, almost, maybe orange even.
What does that mean?
Yellow is very light, like happy, joyful, just like lighthearted in a way.
That's interesting. What about you?
Me, my aura changes, everybody's does. I think right now mine's very pink and orange with the underneath of purple.
How did you get the skill in order to read people's auras?
You know, I think everybody has a skill. I think it comes to some people more easily. Yeah. There's ways you can do it. If you stare at somebody's third eye for like a minute, you should be able to see colors around them.
Really?
That's like one of the techniques. I trained in it. My mom's really good at this, so I was around it my whole life. Usually when you start seeing auras, you'll see it over people's shoulder, like only in one spot.
Really?
So usually when I look at people, I can see like that one color, and it would take me a minute to actually like look. Do
you date people based on their auras too? What is considered like a toxic aura?
Usually people can have like black, like gray, brown. Yeah, and it can, if your aura is broken up, it can mean you had like very like traumatic things happen, or even just small auras or like small energies aren't very good either. I can't say I date people based on their energy, but I've never looked at somebody's aura and been like, I can't date you.
Yeah, so back to the study, it said when people are angry, so they measured their aura prior to them being angry, and then they put a trigger on them which made them angry, and they saw their aura decrease. And when I heard the study, I was like, holy cow. In every religion, in every culture, they clearly state anger is a very terrible thing to have. I'm like, look, this experiment just proved it. It lowers your vibration.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it really is interesting. All like the meditations you can do to even like up your aura, whatever it may be. But yeah, anger, I get it. I mean, everybody gets angry. I think, right? It's a natural response, but I think that's because most people don't know how to tame or process their emotions.
What other based on these books, what did you learn so far? Like, what other things are toxic? I know jealousy is terrible. And you don't get that.
Yes, I've learned so much. I'm reading a book right now. Talks about ego.
It's terrible.
Yes, it's terrible. I mean, everybody has it, especially in the world nowadays, especially in America, Western cultures, of course. But something I read today, actually, which I thought was amazing, is it talks about how there is no right or wrong choice. There is no good or bad choice. That you make a choice and the universe works with that choice.
Yep. It adjusts, it aligns to what you just made.
Exactly. So whatever path you take, there's no right or wrong. Of course, you can take that path. It might not be the best, and maybe you take the other one and it's better. But I thought that was fascinating.
It's also almost in the realm of parallel universes, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, very much. And they talk about that, how you have to evolve in all different dimensions. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I did not think this conversation would go in that direction.
Yeah.
Are you into manifestation?
Very much so. I think I've manifested my whole life.
Teach me some things you know so we can bounce off ideas.
Okay. Do you journal at all?
I not journal. I say things in the present tense.
Okay.
I am happy.
Yes.
I am healthy.
So I think journaling's a huge thing.
What is the benefit? I don't understand. People keep telling me to journal to document your thoughts. I'm like, I don't get it.
I think writing it down has a very physical form of manifestation. For one, they have some that are like you wrap it up, you put it under your bed, or like you burn it, whatever. But I think it's great just to let your thoughts go and put them down every day, no matter what, if you're manifesting or not.
But what are you manifesting if you're writing daily mundane things?
I guess
explain to me a little more.
Journaling's more like going through things. So I think one for a lot of people is they want to manifest money, like abundance, and usually in the form of physical cash, right? So I think one great journaling prompt is going through like your relationship with money. So being like, how did I perceive money as a kid?
Okay.
So it's kind of, I think journaling lets you write this down and see it in front of your eyes in a different way and go through it and really break it down and work through it in a different way.
Do you ever listen to, what are you trying to manifest, and how do you manifest things?
You know, I'm at this really interesting point in my life, which I've never been at. And I feel like I have everything I want.
Wow.
And I'm kind of at this point of like, of course, I still want things in life, and I'm very young, and I have so much of my life to live, but I don't know where to go from here. So I'm not sure what I'm manifesting.
Oh, you're not supposed to force these things.
Yeah, no, of course not. I think that's the thing, that I have so many options of where I can go in my life.
Right.
So yeah, right now I'm just very happy. I just always manifest like abundance and happiness and peace and health. And
you know what they say, right? You're supposed to do it right as you wake up.
Yeah.
What is it? Theta, right?
Yep. They always say it's like in the mirror too. You always have to look at yourself in the mirror and smile.
Smile?
Yep. And there's a lot of things you can do, like brushing your teeth with your left hand is like your unconscious mind, your subconscious. Right. So there's a way to like rewire your brain like that. You say like something good to yourself in the mirror every day like that too.
Oh, word by association.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like telling yourself, it's like, I love you. Like, I think you're amazing. Whatever.
What kind of affirmations do you do daily?
I say thank you. Gratefulness is my number one.
Gratefulness for what you have.
Yeah, it's like every time I'm like at the beach, I see the sunset, I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or like even when I'm just like walking, I'm like, thank you. Like, what a privilege it is to have legs that can walk. Just 100%. Anything. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I think gratefulness is number one. I think that's the key. Like, you can manifest however you want, whatever you want, but I don't think it'll work half as well as it should if you're not grateful for what you already have.
Do you dwell in the CIA files at all?
Oh, I am very into stuff like that. Yes.
Did you read the CIA files on manifestation?
I did.
Oh my God, you're a beast.
Oh my gosh,
I love it. I just finished it.
It's amazing, right?
4 to 7 hertz frequency?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Do you listen to the sounds on YouTube?
Fuck
or anything?
Yeah, I do.
Me too. Oh yeah.
I put it on, I go to sleep.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And I feel like now we're in this generation that knows so much about it. And like you go on TikTok, everybody's like talking about it. It's like,
really?
This is amazing. Yeah.
I feel like majority of people don't. I would say a small population like me and you rarely meet.
I guess it's who you surround yourself with, right?
100%. I guess we attracted each other based on the information we know.
I'm so into that. It's amazing. Yeah, I've worked with people in the CIA who have worked on stuff like this. I've learned from them. They're amazing.
What did you think about the CIA files in terms of they said that you could travel past in the future?
Absolutely.
I was mind blown.
I think they're just gatekeeping. They always have been. And I think a lot of people already knew about this and have done it, obviously. Yeah.
Did you see this one? I literally read it at work the other day during my lunch break. Did you see the CIA files on this guy who, what do you call it when you, I don't know, I was reading it and I was like, what am I reading?
Oh, astral projecting. Yes, I do this. I did this yesterday.
You did astral projection?
Yes.
Yo, tell me.
You can look it up on YouTube and do it.
You have to, I remember something about you have to look at a ladder and...
No, well, there's very different techniques and you can find what works for you, but literally if you look up like how to astral project on YouTube, it'll take you through the entire thing.
Okay.
So I usually see it, I do like my chakras, there's different ways to do it, but you can do anything when you do this. And my favorite thing to do is I like to talk to dead people. I like to talk to like my great grandmother or like my future kids. That's what fascinates me the most about it.
How could you talk to your future kids? Oh, because you're going to the future?
Because you're going to the universe. They're always around you. It's a collective
consciousness.
Yeah. It's like you can talk. I could talk to them right now. I just can't talk to them the same.
So you have this talent. You're not at all like creeped out by these things?
No, I think it's like the magic in the world.
I just like, it sounds so scary. I heard astral projection, and when I heard the details of how to do it, I'm like, no, I'll be scared shitless.
I think a lot of people get scared, and they talk about that a lot of like how to come back into your body.
Right.
They teach
and you have no issue?
I've never had an issue. I've never been scared not to come back. because I'm still existing on some realm in some plane.
Where have you gone?
Oh, I've hung out like underwater. I've gone into like space. That's usually where I hang out and like talk to like other spirits.
You've gone to space?
I've gone back to my childhood a lot, like when my parents were married. That's very cute to like reminisce on. I've gone a lot around myself. Like I'll go back and just hang out with myself as a child, especially in areas of my life that were very hard. I just go back and I comfort myself. And they've proven this was something, I don't know if the CIA proved this, but you can go back and actually change your childhood and like comfort yourself in this way.
But isn't that bad for the present tense? Or it's not affected?
No, it doesn't, because I guess it doesn't change in that way, or not in this universe at least, I should say.
Oh.
But I feel so much more comfort. I've been doing it for like 2 years. I would say like going back, like comforting myself all the time.
Have you ever come back to a different universe? Or it's always been the same one that you left?
I've always come back to my body in this one.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever been to other planets when you astral project?
The moon.
Anything up there?
I think there's a lot of things up there. I've never experienced anything though.
Okay, so what exactly, are you like physically, not physically, but like your eyeballs, let's say?
Yeah, in Venus. Venus is one I've always
You've been to Venus?
Yes.
How are there's creatures there?
Yeah, so Venus in astrology and in planets is considered the planet of love. Uh-huh. So in my astrology and my like birth charts and all this stuff, I'm from Venus.
Okay.
So it's the angelic realm. It's full of angels. It's like pink and it's light.
Dude, you're definitely an angel. You're not of this world, for sure.
I love it there. I went maybe like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I just remembered that actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's great there.
What do the creatures look like?
They look like fairies. They look like angels.
Really?
And the thing, whenever I interact with these beings and ghosts or spirits, whatever you want to call it, they're always translucent.
See-through?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is how, we would be anywhere else but Earth.
I've seen a ghost.
Have you?
I've interacted with a ghost when I was 13 years old.
Who was it?
I'm not sure. I was scared to look at his face.
Okay.
He appeared, it was definitely a gentleman with a long beard. He appeared right in front of me, and he gave me his hand. And then I didn't know what to do, so I gave him my hand. And when I said hello, my hand went through his. Wow. And I almost had a heart attack because I was like, whoa, what just happened? And he disappeared with a blinking of an eye.
Wow.
That's why. When I tell people ghosts are real in this day and age, they think I'm a little crazy. I'm like, no, bro. I used to think that until you see your first ghost.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen ghosts my entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you never terrified of them?
No, I would say sometimes when they would stand behind me, it would just startle me more than anything, but never scary.
Do they stick around long for you?
My grandfather's always around me, like some spirits around me, yes.
In your opinion, why are they here? I'm like, are they not yet into the other realm, or are they visiting, or is it just like a frequency?
It can be both. Some people don't cross over for years or decades, whatever it may be, and a lot of people, like your future kids, like your grandparents, they just hang around to watch you. So they can still exist in like other lifetimes and still be here around you in spirit. So my grandfather's always around me.
Interesting. So do you believe in guardian angels?
Yes.
You have one?
Spirit guides.
Do we all have?
Yes, we have so many. Yes.
We have so many?
So many. Everybody has, you can have more or less, but everybody has so many.
Huh.
You can channel them. There's like 7 basic ones basically.
Right.
And one of them is like a prostitute. It's kind of like you're make it or break it. Like you do what you got to do in life. So we channel.
Metaphorically?
Yeah, so we like channel some of them more than others at different times in our life that they think we need them more.
Damn, I did not think this conversation
was two of mine actually. So here's a big thing. I've worked a lot of like my ancestry work like in my family, kind of like. So my mom had a miscarriage before I was born.
Right.
And so in my family line, I'm actually the youngest. I'm an only child, but I'm technically the youngest of 3 because my mom had this miscarriage. My dad did too. His girlfriend did. And so both of their kids, both my siblings, are my 2 most prevalent spirit guides. Wow. So I've got to talk to them. I talk to them all the time. One of them's a male. His name's Elisha, and one of them's named Freya. And she's a female, and she's like a fairy. And she's my magic in the world.
Can you teach me?
I can, yes. I can recommend you to people. I have this like amazing therapist who like works on all this stuff. She's like a psychic medium.
And this person helped you to achieve this, or you already were born with this?
I naturally had it. She just helped me learn how to connect more and told me about it. Like she can just see it and be like, hey, like this is who's talking to you. Like she can just talk to them and just
teach me something.
Help you.
As fast as you can.
You can ask your spirit guides to show up. Like, hey, like...
Ooh, that's scary.
Like, what... Just, you have to tell them to intervene. Just be like, hey, like, I want you to intervene and help me in my life. So you can ask for a sign. Like, hey, if I should, you have a decision coming up. Like, ask for something. Just be like, if I should move to Tokyo, show me like a pink car, or like show me like something. And you have to give them a 3-day timeline.
Why?
It's
a magical number?
Yeah, it's just you gotta give them time. Or you can just ask for like a word even, like whatever it may be. It will always show up for you if it's meant to be.
Now I'm going to ask you a question that I've read many books and they always ask, do you think the universe is friendly?
Yes. It's your best friend. You are the universe.
You are the universe?
Yes.
How do you feel about God? You also feel like you are God?
Yes, I think God is a loose term. I think what people mean by God is higher power. And what people mean by the universe is higher power. What people mean by spirits and angels is always a higher power.
Okay.
I think that higher power is you and within you.
Okay, explain this to me. There's a lot of books I read, and I feel like I keep coming down to this conclusion. Reincarnation.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, yes.
I think it's a fucked up concept.
I think it's amazing.
I don't want to... What if you... Okay, I came down to this conclusion in pharmacy school. I'll never forget, because I remember I wanted to kill myself. I'm like, yo, I'm so sick of this. This is nonsense. And then I thought for myself, I'm like, wait a minute. I'll just restart the cycle. What's the point?
Yeah.
My question is... How do you get out of the cycle?
You don't.
Ever.
Your soul will never die, but you can get out of coming to Earth.
Yes. How do I...
When you die, you can just choose not to come back.
I heard you have no choice sometimes.
Earth?
If you look into the light. You heard that? Don't look into the light?
I have never heard that. I think souls always have a choice. I think everybody has to come to Earth. They believe Earth is the newest planet and like the hardest planet and the only planet that you come to and forget everything you've ever known.
Yes.
So I think it's the most challenging, but it's the best for growth. So you want to really evolve fast, people come here.
Okay, let's say if you die, do you know anything about reincarnation? Like, where do we go after?
Yes, I know about all my past lives.
How do you know about all your past lives? Because
you can get readers done. You can do it yourself. There's this lady in Chinatown who does past life regressions. You can actually go into your past life yourself with somebody.
And what were you before?
I've been many things. I was a witch twice, a really good witch.
Witchcraft is real?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Isn't it sometimes messed up? Because don't they put love potions and stuff?
Yeah,
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I think it's very much a hit or miss. I was a good witch. I will say that. She told me that I was good in all my lives. I've been men many times. I've been animals many times.
Really?
I've been fairies. I've been in wars. Yeah.
Really?
You should get a reading done. I'll recommend you to somebody.
Yeah, but like sometimes I'm scared. I don't want to be reincarnated in something I don't want to.
Oh, it's always a choice.
There's always a choice?
There's always a choice.
So I picked this?
Yeah, you may not know it right now, but yeah.
Wow.
It's very freeing in a way. It's kind of like, because I feel like there's so many things I want to do in this lifetime. It's like I may not have time to, but maybe next time I will.
Do you know anything about DMT?
Yes.
Okay, what do you know about DMT?
I can't say much. I've never dabbled in it, let's say. What about you?
I know things about it.
Okay.
They call it the God molecule, and it's secreted when you're about to die.
Okay, yeah.
And you get to see certain things.
Some people have that gift that comes to them at that time. But yeah, I think when you die, you're a spirit. Have you ever heard about people like dying, coming back, like near-death experiences?
Yeah.
So my dad had one of those. I've had one of those. My mom's had one of those. They say it's the fastest way to enlightenment, basically.
Yeah.
And he's worked with there's this doctor in Virginia who works on it all the time. But everybody who's had one always has the same story about it too.
Right.
Which is amazing. You should watch it. It's on Netflix.
So my question is, why do these people, when they die and then they come back, why do they all have a positive message?
Yeah.
That I'll give them. But it's always Jesus or Muhammad or this. I'm like, but why does it always have to be like divine figure? I'm like, you can't just, and they all say like, oh, Jesus saved my life. This one says, no, Moses saved my life. I'm like, okay, how many prophets are there when you die? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's supposed to be like a universal structure telling you to do better. That's all. It doesn't have to be. But what I'm thinking is that's what they associate with the right path.
Yes. So I say this. I think you go where you believe you go.
Exactly.
I believe that. I believe in the universe. I think I'll meet like my family in the universe when I die.
Right.
I don't think there's a hell per se. I think there's a judgment zone. But
you think so?
I do. They consider this the gray planet. It's called the Judgment Zone. So
this is the gray planet?
No. There's another planet. It's not in our solar system, let's say.
Oh.
But you go there if you've been bad in this lifetime.
Okay. Teach me some more stuff about outer space. I am so in love with outer space. I want to see what's out there. I just can never
You will one day, or you could right now if you learn how to astro.
Project, yeah.
There's a lot. All the planets are something different. Like, I'm from Venus. My mom's from Venus. The moon's actually considered a planet in this one. Mars is like the planet of war.
Why?
I don't know why, honestly. It's just considered that. So a lot of people who come from there are very much like, maybe like military in this life, like very just like aggressive. Like they have just like this way to them. And this is very much tied into astrology too in this way.
So explain to me, how could you be born in Mars and then you're saying you're reincarnated on Earth or something?
Yeah, so it's the whole universe. You can just be from a different place.
At the previous life.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I'm from Venus, and that's a realm. It's like the angelic realm. So every planet kind of has its realm to it when you're in the solar system. Right. And Earth, not so much in that way because it's so new. But yeah, it's kind of like being born like one country. It's just like you're from that country, but you can go around to other places in that way.
What about Jupiter? You been there?
No.
Any kind of like reputation?
Yes, I can't remember. I can get back to you on that though.
I would love for you to get back to talk to me.
It's really easy just to look up and learn, yeah.
Okay, what's the craziest thing you've learned about everything you're talking about right now? Something, before I ask that, let's put a pause on that. Have you ever read the book The Kabbalion?
No.
Read the book.
Okay, what's it about?
It's a lot. It's everything we're talking about, but it summarizes it into one key point. Everything we know is mental.
Yes, yeah.
And it goes even further to say we are living in someone's dream, a godly dream. Everything here, he is literally asleep. And the way we count years and months, it's different for godly, whatever he's in.
Okay.
He is literally asleep, imagining everything here.
So is this like, what is it, the egg theory kind of?
What's the egg theory?
I want to say that's more like a simulation theory.
I think simulation theory is played out.
Okay.
It's more like a dream sequence of a god.
Okay. And but we're his, basically.
We're his creations. And what do his creations, what are our abilities? Similar abilities we can create and we can imagine. We have similar tendencies of what he has. But when I read the book, and this book does not claim to be fiction.
Okay.
They call it the Hermetic laws.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so the Hermetic laws were discussed from the Kabbalion. When I read this book, I was so confused about what I was reading, but the person who recommended, they're like, this is not a fiction book. I read it, I think I understood 30% because it went into angelic realms, subcategories, and I'm like, bro, what am I reading right now?
Oh, interesting. I will look into it. I usually try to stray away from...
mysticism?
No, just kind of God books like that of like we don't exist on our own in that way. Just because I think it can be very... people take it different ways, I guess, but I think it can be terrifying thinking that you don't exist.
Maybe I should
outside of somebody's mind in that way.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said it.
No, I will still read it. I'm not afraid of it for myself. But yes, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about... I always have this discussion with my brother, and we never agree on it. But like, the more I'm understanding like all this frequencies and stuff like that, abortion. He's saying, because I never got anyone pregnant, nothing like that. But I'm like a big advocate. I'm like, if I ever get someone pregnant, I'm like, I'm gonna ask for an abortion type of thing, whatever. Like, I'm pro-choice.
Yes.
But he said you could do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you will be punished for terminating that child.
No.
You don't think
and
so?
I can speak on this because my therapist, she talks about this. She can talk to dead people. She can talk to your child before she aborts it. I knew somebody very close to me who got an abortion this time last year, and before she did, she had somebody speak to this child, and the child said, like, it's okay, I understand. I will say this, pro-life, pro-choice, you don't believe in it, whatever it may be, I think the heartbeat argument's very interesting, right? Because it's kind of like, are you going to kill a living thing, right? I think no matter if they're a day old or 8 months old, they always have a soul. I think that's the biggest thing. Right. But they understand. They always understand.
That they're getting killed.
They understand that it wouldn't work for them. That's just not a good time in your life. And they'll never hold it against you.
Really?
So that's one thing. I would not like a child right now, and I always said if I ever got pregnant, I would just tell it like, hey, I love you and I adore you and I hope you come back to me one day, but right now it's not that day.
Right.
And they understand that. They want to be recognized like dead people do. They want to be like honored and recognized, but they'll never be mad at you.
Right.
They'll never be mad.
Would the same soul come back, or would
it does. A lot of souls do come back, and they come back. So it was actually my great grandmother. She had a miscarriage, and this miscarriage is my aunt now. It is my grandpa's daughter. Mm-hmm. And she told her that. So I told her, she goes, this soul will reincarnate as your grandkid. Mm-hmm. So yeah, souls come back. They usually stay in the same family line.
I want to ask you a question. It's a little inappropriate.
Okay.
Do you know anything about like celibacy and stuff like that?
Yes.
So there's this thing I just read recently about like semen retention. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah. My last boyfriend was so into this.
Really?
Yes. I know all about this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he would almost never come when we had sex, actually.
Right.
Yeah. Which was hard for me to understand at first. I understood it. I didn't quite understand it fully, I would say, though. But I think the whole sexual energy thing, I think it is a huge thing. I've never been one for hookups. I think you have to be careful who you have sex with. Just not even like STDs.
Dude, I've been saying like, that.
Whatever.
Vibrations.
But it's an energy thing.
Yeah.
And so here's my one rule. It takes 3 months to reset your sexual energy.
Ooh.
So I don't think you should ever have sex with somebody new within a 3-month period.
Oh my God, I love that.
That's my one rule. That's my only rule.
I love that. That's why I always tell these girls when they hop onto the next dude within 5 minutes, I'm like, what did you learn? What did you learn?
That's my only rule, because the energy stays with you, if it's yours or not. That's my only rule. It's like, give it 3 months, either side.
Why did he do it? Was it because they say there's like vitality involved?
Yeah, I think it was an energy thing for him, just
thing,
more than anything. Yeah, like what you want to expend your energy on.
Yeah,
and give your energy to.
I've been doing it now recently, and I've had like a crazy amount of energy.
Yeah.
Because I just randomly stumbled upon this book, and it said you age faster the more basically like orgasms you have. The more you hold it in, the better your skin gets, the more vitality you get, the more sexual energy you have. Females are more attracted to you. I was like, what kind of baloney? And then I did, and I noticed, I'm like, all that stuff they said was true. Yeah. It's all true.
I mean, when I first heard about it, I was kind of like,
stupid. Yeah.
Like, this is, I feel like this is very controversial too, but yeah, I'm totally with you.
Right.
I believe in celibacy. If I'm not in a relationship, I'm not having sex.
Wow.
And that's just for me. That's just how I take it, because it is an energy thing. It's an exchange of energy, and that's how I see it. I don't think it's a thing of like being a prude or anything like that, but I don't want to give or take energy from somebody that I'm not in love with.
I agree. A lot of people like, they're like, oh, he's so hot, I'm just going to sleep with him. I'm like, dude, you don't know what kind of bad frequency this person is carrying with him.
And I think that's fine. You know, I support sleeping around, whatever it may be. I'll never tell somebody not to. But for me personally, I could never.
I feel like you're living your life, which is, I get where you're coming from. You're like, don't intrude, right? Everybody has their own time. You know, you could tell somebody something that's a fact, and they'll be like, I'm not ready to accept it. But I feel like I'm on this planet to help educate people to not make mistakes that I've made. You know what I mean? Or some other girls have made. That's why when girls tell me like, oh, like I post this provocative picture, this, and I'm like, how you do? And they're like, oh, a guy can't make me not post this. I'm like, put yourself in his shoes. If this is someone you love, why would you do that? He's hurt. He's hurt that you did that. You know what I mean? I always try to educate them. They're like, no, he can like kiss my ass. I'm like, that's not a nice thing to say. I'm like, a guy also has feelings. Girls in this world will always have more attention than guys. Guys will always be lacking compared to you guys. That's why I kind of intrude a little bit in terms of like, let me educate you just a tad. You can do whatever you want with this information. What do you think about that?
I think it's okay to educate people. Yeah, as long as you don't belittle people. Yeah,
that's
educate people as much. I think that's the one thing people really do a lot, you know. Instead, there's a way to correct somebody nicely and to educate them instead of just being like, you're so stupid. How did you not know that? Yeah.
I feel like men are not good communicators at that, though.
No, mansplaining is a real thing.
Yeah, mansplaining is a real thing.
It's okay, though. I mean, everybody learns, right?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Do you know who, I mean, like, this podcast was so cool. I didn't even have to talk about dating stuff, but do you know anything about Andrew Tate?
Yes.
Let's talk about him. Ooh, from your vibrational stance, how do you feel about him?
I can't say I know much about him, and my only knowledge or knowing of him is, like, him as what I've seen on, like, the internet. So I'm not sure if that is a fair take or opinion on him. So I just want to say that. Other than that, I think he is an asshole of what I can see from him, at least. So
wow, that's the first time you said something mean. What?
Well, as I said, that's just my opinion, what I have perceived of him.
Why? I want to know.
I think his whole maybe scandal of sex trafficking, his whole very alpha male thing.
I don't think he was actually sex trafficking, though. I feel like they were lying.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, that's what I mean. You never know.
Did you look into it? Like,
I didn't. That's why I'm saying I don't know if I have a fair opinion on him. I would have to meet him to really have an opinion. But I think the way he is trying to come off is just very not right, not good. It's egotistical more than anything, really. Right. Yeah.
So that's the vibe you get from him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I look at him, he is angry. He is just out for something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't come across as educating people at all.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I think he thinks he's empowering men and like doing all this stuff, and it's not coming from a place of good intentions, though.
Okay, so do you believe that men and women speak different languages?
Some maybe.
I feel like as creatures, we're very different.
Yes.
So when Andrew Tate speaks, this is what you guys hear, blah, 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 blah. But we don't see that. It's a completely different thing.
See, so I didn't know this. Yeah,
right?
okay.
I swear, when like I watch a video, and if there's a girl present in the room, I'm like, that's hilarious. Did you hear what he said at that time? And then I'm like, did you hear what he said about that? That's what I heard. That's so funny.
Okay.
And then the girl sitting next to me like, what a dick, what an asshole, I'm like, you got that from that? We are able to decipher what he's saying and get the joke behind it and the meaning, minus the like, the fuck bitches type of thing. But I get it. When you guys hear it, you're like, who would, like, why do you guys support this idiot?
Yeah, and I think very much I get jokes. I can take a joke. I joke all the time.
Yeah, he has a weird way of joking.
I guess that's the only thing. If you're saying it, there is some intent behind it. You know, I think there's a better way to go about it, I guess. That's all.
I really want to ask more manifestation questions.
Go for it.
Teach me more. What kind of hertz do you listen to? Frequencies? Because I listen to 4 to 7. What do you listen to?
I listen to anything I feel I need that day. I do a lot of, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Have you ever heard of somnic music?
No.
I think it's SOMATIC maybe. It's more for like removal and release of things.
What's the frequency?
I have it on my phone on my Apple Music. I will send it to you.
Please.
I'm not sure, but it's more like calming. So that's what I'm more into right now, because I feel like I'm kind of past this like manifestation in that way. And this is more like anger removal, like stress removal, like yada yada, stuff like that.
Are you a stressful person in general?
I don't think I am, but I like to stay that way too. But I think I'm at this point in my life where little things stress me out and I don't actually get stressed, but it's just like I'm at such a calm place that if like one thing happens, I'm like, wow, this is the most stressful thing this whole year, and it can be something so small.
Right.
But I think it's amazing to be at a place like that too, that like something so small is like the most stressful thing that's happened to me. So I don't have anything like huge that's, I
don't feel like a lot of things would affect you in general.
No.
You seem like a hard person to get, into the brain.
I'm very soft. I'm very sensitive. I will say that. Like, I really take things to heart.
Has anything ever rattled you? Like a life event?
Not really. I think I get past things easier to let them go or just see them for what they are. It is what it is. I think I've been really fortunate and lucky in life. I haven't had like bad experiences or bad interactions. But I mean, if I ever do, I really do. I am
Where
sensitive.
do aliens come from?
Aliens?
Yeah, the green ones.
Everywhere. The green ones?
The ones with the heads. Are they from Moon or like from a different planet?
I don't know. I don't know which ones.
You never interact with
like
them?
the ones here?
The ones like what do you mean here? They're from this planet?
Well, like there's some that live on this planet.
I've heard.
I've heard like been here.
Like the reptilians, right, or something?
Yeah, I'm not. I hear so many different things about that.
Yeah.
The other day I heard about these like Icelandic aliens
I
who
heard
look
about them.
enough like us that they just like walk around in public.
Yeah.
So now I've been on the lookout for one. I'm like, if I see one, I'm gonna talk to it for sure.
Do you know how to talk to them though? I learned their trick.
Well, okay, tell me.
So they said, because they're telekinetic, right?
Okay, yeah.
So all you have to do is like if you're in a crowd and somebody stands out to a point where you're like, this person looks very unconventional. Just think in your head, are you an alien? And if they turn around and they hear you,
oh my gosh, I have to try that. That's like, so fascinating.
Yeah, just like, hey, are you an alien in your head? And if they turn around and just acknowledge, did somebody say something? You're like, you're telekinetic.
That's genius.
It's genius, right?
Thank you for that.
I got you.
I am taking that with me. I'm going to do that.
I got you. I read a book and it said do that, and I was like, whoa.
So a lot of books have so many like different types that they're very specific on, like they are from here, I feel like we're aliens to them though, and to everybody else, so
100%.
Yeah.
I also read this, I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast. It was sick. It said it said that I think we're the only animals on this earth without a predator.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
in one book I read too, we are the only animals who know right from wrong. So I read that this makes us very like morally compromised, basically.
Do you really think that's true? Right from wrong.
So it's kind of like animals, like they're just instinct though. Like they don't know that like killing this like mother chicken is right or wrong. Right. So I guess it puts so much more like pressure on us in that way. Mm-hmm. But I get what they mean by it. Like we're the only animals that can comprehend right from wrong.
What's what was I gonna ask? Are we the smartest animal on this planet? Because they just proved, I think somewhere, I don't remember, I might be making this out of my ass, that there are different types of humans that are humongous.
Yeah.
That live underground-ish.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about
They're a lot
this.
smarter than humans, and they refuse to be associated with us.
I think we think we're the smartest.
I also do.
But I think that's just what we can comprehend.
Right.
I think as you look at like an octopus, right? I mean, they can like morph, they can change color. Like, I think they're a genius, but it's what we don't take it that way, I guess, you know? Mm-hmm. So it depends. I think we think we're the smartest animals, but I think in their own realm, in their own ways, there's things much greater and smarter than us for sure.
Okay, question, and we're going to end it with this. When are you leaving and when are you coming back?
Hawaii?
Yeah.
I leave December 15th, and I don't know when I'll be back.
Can you come back for a follow-up podcast, but nothing to do with dating?
Okay, yes.
I just want to talk about this creepy stuff.
Yes, I would love to, yes.
You're down?
Yes.
Okay, but like come with questions.
Okay.
And I have so many books. And just look into the Kabbalion a little bit.
Okay. Okay, text me the name of that.
I will text you the name.
Okay.
Kabbalion, yeah.
Okay.
You ever heard of the Kabbalah?
Yes. Yeah, okay, I've heard of it. I can't say I know much about it, though.
Yeah, it's a cringy, creepy book. But it definitely opens up this...
Yeah.
Okay, with that, we want to end the podcast. Guys, she will be back.
Thank you so much for having me.